Hello everyone! Well, it's September and right now cucumbers are everywhere. That's why in this video I'm going to show you how I made these cool, crispy bread and butter pickles. Did you know that during the Great Depression, people ate these in sandwiches with nothing but butter because they didn't have anything else? That's how they got their name. I didn't know that. So to make bread and butter pickles, you're going to need this type of cucumber. This is the small pickling variety and they're really easy to find at most farmers markets. You want to make 1/4-inch slices just like you see right here. And it's almost better to make these too thick than too thin. You can use big cucumbers as long as they're not super thick and loaded with a lot of seeds. Next, slice up your onions. So I have here 3 medium-sized white onions. I'm just going to peel them and make them into these nice thin slices. So just fluff them up to get them all separated. And these are going to be really awesome because they stay crunchy. So you can take these and add them right into your cucumbers, just like that. Next, I'm going to add in some red bell pepper. Originally, green peppers were used in bread and butter pickles, but I think red is going to look a lot nicer. So just cut them into these nice strips and add them in there. And now here comes some garlic. I have here 2 cloves of garlic, so you can add more if you want to, of course. And just peel it, and sometimes I make it into these nice slices here. They look really nice when they're just left like that, but I think for this batch I'm going to coarsely chop them. Now you have to add in your salt. So I have here 1/3 of a cup of pickling salt. Don't use sea salt or table salt because they can make your pickles dark, but you can use kosher salt. So just rub it all in so every piece gets coated. And don't forget, just by clicking the link underneath this video, you can get this complete recipe on my blog at icookandpaint.com. And while you're there, don't forget to check out my paintings. So right here I have 2 trays of ice. Mix 1 tray in. This is going to help keep the pickles really crispy. You just want to mix it in there so everything gets chilled. And the other tray you lay on top. So just spread the ice out so everything's covered. Then you cover this with plastic wrap and let it refrigerate for 4 hours. Every now and then, if you can remember, take it out and give it a good stir. Now here's what it's going to look like after 4 hours. Quite a bit of the volume has dropped, and as you can see it's floating in liquid. Some of that liquid came from the ice melting, but a lot of it came from the cucumbers. Now you have to make sure you rinse off every trace of salt, so just drain these in a colander and rinse them off for about 3 or 4 minutes. Don't worry if it feels like you're wasting the salt, it's already done its job. So now these cucumbers are officially pickled. So as you can see here, they're still really crispy, but they're also kind of wiggly. You see? Now for the brine, start off with some sugar in a large saucepan. And to this I'm going to add some spices. So these are traditional bread and butter pickle spices. I have here some mustard seeds, celery seeds, whole cloves, turmeric, and black peppercorn. So add those in. Next I'm going to add in some vinegar. I'm using white vinegar, but you can also use cider vinegar, or half and half, and a little bit of water to compensate for any evaporation. Now just bring this to a boil over medium-high heat and keep stirring it so all the sugar dissolves. When it comes to a boil, let it simmer for about 2 minutes to get all the flavors out of the spices. Now I know what you're thinking, there isn't going to be enough brine, but don't worry, everything's going to work out in the end. So just take all your cucumbers and add them into the brine. Stir them in really well, and now you want to bring this back to a boil. This is going to take a few minutes, but just keep stirring it really gently, try not to break them up. Right now you want lots of water to come out of the cucumbers. Just keep heating this until it all comes back to a boil, and as soon as you see the first few bubbles like this right here, turn off the heat and just let it sit on the hot burner. Give them a few minutes until enough liquid comes out to barely cover everything. If you see that you don't have that much, then let them cook for a little longer. Then you can just take it off the heat. Now this is another shot of how much liquid you should end up with. If you don't have enough brine to barely cover everything like that, then you won't have enough. Let it cook a little bit longer. So right here I'm just transferring these into sterilized jars. You don't have to can these if you don't want to, but if you do, make sure you leave at least ½ an inch of headspace at the rim of the jar. You want to process these for 10 minutes in a water canner, but if you're not going to can these will keep pretty much indefinitely in the fridge if they just sit in the brine. Now it's a good idea to let these sit for at least 3 or 4 weeks before actually eating them. but I've been feeling a little impatient lately. I don't want to wait that long. These have been in my fridge for a few hours. I really want to show you what these look like. Excuses, I know. But look at how nice and crispy these are, and they've taken on that nice gold color from the turmeric, and oh, sorry. I don't normally eat like that, but, you know. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, then you might like my video on how to can your own tomatoes and how to can your own peaches. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to I Cook and Paint. See you later, guys.